Hey everybody, just another episode here, and we want to give you some practical tips. This is kind of for beginners, but it could be for anybody as well, on how to learn how to hear God's voice and prophesy. So, the Apostle Paul writes this. He says, of all the gifts, all of them, think about the gifts. There's a lot of them, and there's some amazing gifts in the Bible that are for us. And he says, but above all those, desire most earnestly to prophesy. Now, a lot of places where you go, not only do they not teach this, but they don't even want you to know this, which means it's actually disobeying the word of the Lord, because Paul says you need to desire this above all the other gifts. And then he says this is in 1 Corinthians 14. He says this, verse 31, for you can all prophesy. All, right? That means everybody. That means anybody who's a believer. You can do this. And he wants you to desire it. So you need to desire it. And then you need to learn. So how do you do that? Well, you need to put some things in place. First of all, here's one great thing you can do. You want to learn to hear God and you want to learn to prophesy over someone. First thing you need to do is learn how to hear. Easy way to do this. You go to church, right? You're in church, the presence of God is there, the atmosphere of heaven is there, and you can begin to ask the Holy Spirit, what are you saying and doing in this meeting? And then while you're there in the meeting, in the worship service, watch. Are you hearing things that then all of a sudden that worship leader starts singing? He starts going in a direction. I'm not talking about what's on the song, but I'm talking about singing freely and singing by the Spirit of the Lord. Is he saying those things? Does he encourage you as a worship leader, all of a sudden with the same things the Holy Spirit's speaking to you as you're in the meeting, asking him to? And then while you're in the meeting and you're asking the Holy Spirit, what are you saying and doing in this meeting? Does the preacher get up and he starts saying those very same things that the Holy Spirit is speaking to you, that you're listening and hearing? And he's saying them after you already hear them. Well, as you're in that place of the presence of the Lord, how do you feel? What are you feeling? How do you feel when you're hearing God? This is how God speaks to you. This is how he feels when you speak to him. This is what his presence is like. You're learning this. Now, the next thing you can do is decide, all right, okay, Lord, I'm beginning to hear your voice. You can say, God, are there some specific instructions you have for me? Is there someone you want me to talk to today? And all of a sudden, you'll be drawn to a person. Maybe it's in a coffee shop or a grocery store or somebody else in church that you feel like the Lord wants you to pray for. And then you can say this, all right, Lord, I know you want me to, I really feel like you're saying to pray for this person. Can you tell me something that I should pray? Can you tell me something maybe that they need prayer for? And then just go up to them and ask them. Maybe the Lord might say, they really need prayer for this. And you go up and ask them, hey, do you need prayer for such and such? And if they're like, man, yeah, I was just saying, you not only are you hearing God, but you're catching those instructions. You're obeying the voice of the Lord. And now you're going up and you're going to pray for them in a way that makes sense because the Holy Spirit's leading you in this. Think about it again. How are you feeling? What are you feeling like? How does that presence of God feel to you? This is a relationship God's building with you so that you can sense him, sense his presence and his voice. Another thing you might want to get is if you decide, maybe you want to say, all right, Lord, I'm going to pray for this person and I don't know what to say or do or any of it. I'm just going to go up and offer to pray for them. And then I'm just going to ask you, Holy Spirit, to put in my mind and in my heart thoughts of what I should pray and how I should pray. And then you begin to pray over a person without knowing anything. And as the Spirit of the Lord is leading you and you're praying what he's putting in your head and it's coming out of your mouth, all of a sudden you'll start praying what this person needs. And then maybe when you're done, they say, oh my goodness, how did you know that? I needed this, I needed that. You're learning how to catch the voice of the Holy Spirit and do what he wants you to do. And you can do this in all these different variety of ways. Now, these are beginner ways to do this. And listen, if you get one word for a person, maybe the word is, you don't even know, maybe it's silly, something silly. I've had this happen for me. I got a one word for a person. I thought it was silly. I said it. It meant something to them that I didn't even know or realize. They were blown away by it. That one word opened up more words from the Lord. Next thing you know, I'm prophesying over this person. And I'm doing it really, really proficiently from the Holy Spirit. So those are some tips for you while you're in church or out and about of what you can do in order to see God move in a person's life prophetically. And as you grow in this, you'll get more and more. So hopefully that helps you. Try it this week. Give it a shot. Be blessed in it. Have a great week.